It's recording. Okay. Welcome you all to Clothed in Righteousness. This is a conversation between me, rydouglas, Sebastian Olayo, and Zullay Orozco about, honestly, it's just a chill conversation, kind of talking about where the our feelings around fashion and spirituality meet, and kind of like talking about the idea of adorning oneself as a spiritual practice, as a ritual. And sometimes it's not a spiritual practice, sometimes it's not a ritual. And we're going to touch on all of that, have a fun little conversation. Do y'all want to introduce yourselves, give any context for yourselves before we get started? I think a good place where we can get started is I'd love to hear like, what are y'all's journeys with fashion from the beginning of time until now?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Well, my name is Sebastian. They, them pronouns. Um, Non-binary, queer. Growing up, my mom always dressed me up until high school, pretty much, because it was like elementary and middle school were all like uniforms, so she never had to worry about that. It was always like blue, black, or white. And then we went to a very conservative church, which is just very like plain tees and jeans, whereas she couldn't um, wear like jewelry or like pants. But yeah, she was like my church's style icon. Like all the teenage girls, they always would like flock to her and be like, "Oh my God, I want to dress like you." And ironically, my mom was a size 0 juniors petite, so she was like dressing in clothes that they would wear. um, and then high school, I started dressing myself. It was very, 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 what's the word? It wasn't the best of times fashion wise for me, at least freshman and junior and sophomore year. But then I really started experimenting with my style like junior and senior year. I mostly because I started a retail job working for Calvin Klein at the outlet mall. So I would use my discount to buy stuff, and that really informed my fashion choices. And it was always pretty like not flamboyant because I had just recently come out, but it wasn't like really like heteronormative. It was very like passing, but like with a little bit of like style, I guess I would say. And then towards the end of senior year, I made the unfortunate decision to start a bow tie phase. So I would go to bow ties, and then that went on till like the first couple of years of college. And then after that, I was getting really cute refund checks every semester. So I would splurge at Topshop. So all my fashion was informed by Topshop, which Topshop also makes questionable choices. So I was wearing some questionable shit back then. And then now within the past couple of years, it's just I've been really trying to find how I feel comfortable expressing. I do a lot more thrifting and just like styling all that together, and just finding pieces I like and I feel like I want to express myself in. Definitely, it's gotten more like femme leaning, more flamboyant, you could say. Um, I like doing the most whenever I do want to like dress up. Um, which I don't have enough reasons to, but like this is me like wanting to like be extra, put on a harness, put on makeup. If you can't tell, this harness is crystalled, stoned from ASOS. It's because I saw it and I'm like, it was either this or a plain black harness. I'm like, I'm gonna go with the extra option. So from there, I was just like, and not now a lot more lately. It's been much more experimental with like feminine and exclusively women's made clothing, because I really like flowy tops and all that. And I think also doing drag allows me a vehicle to like really experiment with my feminine aesthetic in a way where I don't feel safe or comfortable doing so in the everyday. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Beautiful. My turn?
I want to go next. So I can share. Um, Honestly, I feel like my journey with fashion has been all over the place. My mom was like a fashion designer up until I came and changed her life forever. Um, and so my mom, she specifically used to make a lot of like tennis wear. And so my mom was a tennis player and she would like make tennis skirts and like biker short, well, what we would now consider biker shorts, but she called them tennis shorts that would have these like really loud, funky prints and stuff. And this was like in the 80s. My mom was an adult in the 80s. She's old. But she yeah, I think her style definitely was like something that I leaned towards the middle of my life. And I feel like it's like what I was aspiring to be before then, and then what I was like what I've been running from ever since. So basically when I was a kid, she dressed me and she would have me wearing like not as loud as the stuff she would wear, but we often like we had like matching outfits. I'll never forget this like matching maroon like velvet outfit we had. And I feel like, yeah, a lot of like my beginning style was just whatever my mom was putting me in that was like often made by her, but not always. But the thing is, my mom loved fashion but hated shopping. So like it would either be made by her or it was from Walmart and she just saw it while walking down the aisle after we picked up some groceries. Like she loves fashion, but like she refuses to shop. Like we've literally had to stop her from having temper tantrums in the K&G store back home when it was like Easter Sunday weekend. Like my mom's wild. But and then when I finally started dressing myself though, it was a mess. It was terrible. I because when I started dressing myself, I wasn't the one buying it. Like it was a lot of hand-me-downs from my brother. And then again, the Walmart stuff. Or like me trying to make stuff that was like my church clothes work during the week. Like it was never the move. So then when I did start dressing myself, I always like to like play with color and like, ooh, like let's see what this does or whatever. And I was like, I feel like I was very like mathematical about my fashion sense though. And for that reason, I got real excited about we were going to a Pistons game, which is I'm from Detroit, and that's Detroit's basketball team. And their colors were like red, blue, and white. So I thought that in the spirit of the Pistons, with two of their colors being red and white, I decided to wear a red t-shirt and these jeans that I had that were a gradient from the top to the bottom, coming from like a dark pink color to white. And then I had on my all white shoes. Y'all, my mom clowned me and made me change. And yes, I was like, ruin my life. We still talk about that to this day. Like my feelings were hurt. I was so scared. To this day, I'm still traumatized by the thought of seeing red and pink together. Like she let me know, like that is not what you do. And at that point, I think I got like way more afraid in my fashion sense again and like didn't take a lot of chances. And then I don't know what happened. Oh, literally, someone from my church gave me a bunch of clothes, like just donated a bunch of clothes to me that she had grown out of. And mind you, she's got to be like 10 years older than me. And most of these were like her old clothes. So it was like, it was not like, it was like out of style and old for me. It was just like a really weird thing to be in my closet. I'll never forget, like I used to like swear by like all the shit, all the stuff she gave me is what I like started wearing like regularly. Like that became my wardrobe. And it included like a velour sweatsuit, this like academics baby tee, and like this vest that was like gray and striped, and it became like that vest was like my staple piece. I also went through a bow tie phase when I was in like seventh and eighth grade. I was always wearing that vest and a bow tie. I would wear a white t-shirt with no collar and a bow tie. I would also get like the suspenders from Claire's. Like I don't know how to describe that phase. I don't know what I was going for, but I was trying to give, but that's what I was giving. And then I like transitioned into, so also like I mentioned the academics baby tee. I wore that, these jeans, and some pastries. Well, I used to love pastries. Y'all remember pastries?
I think so.
They were like,
wait, what?
they're called pastries. They were shoes by, I think like,
How do you spell it?
Simmons. Pastries. I think it was like either Russell Simmons or Rev Run's kids. It was like that family. And they were
I've never heard of it.
yeah, they were a moment. They were a moment. And I love them. But again, it was after they had gone out of style. I was getting them for $25 at Mr. Allen's. So then I walked into school on a jeans day one day, or a free dress day, whatever it was called. I thought I was too fresh. I had on my academics baby tee. It was gray and pink. And then I had on my pink and white pastries with some light wash jeans. Are y'all looking up pastries right now?
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Honestly, I should put pastries back. But yeah, I walked into class feeling so fresh with the outfit. Let me see which ones you're looking at. Creative. Okay, that is a piece of art.
Yes. Ooh, I like these.
Those are cute. Those are cute. I can see you wearing those.
Yeah, I'm like, I would wear these.
You should buy them.
Are these also pastries? These are cute.
Those are the ones I had. Those Those were one of the 4 pairs I had.
These are so. Why isn't it showing up? Ah, yes.
Yes, those are cute. Love that. And the thing is, yes, I walked in one day.
I would have thought you were cool.
Thank you. But I almost said this dude's whole name. A certain student in my class walked up to me when I came in and was like, oh, literally made a face like that. He was like, oh, you fresh. Ah. And I was like, thank you.
The original one of those.
He was clouding me, y'all. Like, I thought he was dead serious. I was like, thanks, just got this shirt. And they were clouding me. So I took that as the next time I went shopping, I was like, what do they wear? I was like, oh, they wear Aeropostale and Hollister. So I got a bunch of Aeropostale and Hollister. And like, no one cared when I wore Hollister, but when I wore Aeropostale, I was still getting clowned. I didn't know everyone knew Aeropostale was cheap. I thought they thought I was rich because I was wearing that junk. And then I was like getting clowned for that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna flex on y'all. This was also anti-Blackness because American Eagle was like something that only white people wore. And I was like, I'm gonna get American Eagle. Y'all the broke ones. I'm gonna have it. I'm wearing what the white people wear it. And I was going to a white high school the next year. So then I went through American Eagle phase. And then after then is when I like, it was still rough after the American Eagle phase, but it was like after that was the beginning of me like actually figuring out my style, which was funny though, because I was like going to high school every day wearing heels with my uniform skirt.
In your
damn.
Yes, with a size 13 shoe. So I had to get these heels from Avenue, looking like somebody's auntie walking down the street.
Wait, how old were you?
Those heels, that was probably when I was like 15 when I was wearing heels to school every day. I think it was 10th grade.
Wow. See, my mom would have been like so happy if I wore heels to school. Like she was like, why don't you wear a little heel to like for high school? I'm like, what the fuck? No.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Whoops.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Shout out to your mom. She was trying to give you some style tips. That's all. She was trying to, be in there. But yeah, I think the thing is like, I don't think anyone's at the end of their journey, but I feel like that's where my mind ends. Obviously, so many different things happened after then where my style continued to like, or my journey with that. I forgot to mention I ended up going to college for fashion.
Hello.
So I'm gonna try to wrap this up because I feel like I've been talking for a minute. But yes, I was like supposed to go to college for math. And then I was like, everyone knew I was going for math. I was like gonna go to some like nice school. I had good grades, went to private schools. I was supposed to like get a scholarship to one of those good schools. I got ADHD and did not have accommodations for the ACT. So what scholarship? And yeah, I ended up like having a moment in chapel where I was like, Jesus is telling me to live what I love. And that's the slogan at Columbia College, Chicago. So I ended up coming to Chicago and going to school for fashion business. And then the summer after my freshman year, became an anti-capitalist and changed my major. And then I ended up working as a stylist for a couple years, doing like freelance stuff. But I still to this day have a lot of conflict with that as an anti-capitalist. And I'm just now starting to ease back into styling and like trying to figure out how to like reimagine what styling looks like for me personally, from a perspective that's not focused on like consumption, consumerism, waste, giving money to corporations, all that jazz. And yeah, that's where I am.
Nice. All right. So I first got into fashion. I talk about it a little bit in my bio, but my mom was also how I got into fashion. She is a hairstylist, so she had to get ready for work every day and like literally go in a look, because like you can't be doing hair and like be like looking sloppy, you know. And
Talk about people.
So I would, what?
So they talk about people who do that.
Yeah, like my mom, like one time she like went to she like started at this new place and they were all wearing jeans and she was the only one dressing up, and they were like laughing at her because she was dressing up to work. And my mom was like this is just who I am, like I dress up every day, like. So she actually got the whole salon to start dressing up too.
Yes, a trendsetter.
But yeah, my mom is definitely a trendsetter. But yeah, so I would like watch her get ready for work every day. And also when I was like about like 8 or 9 years old, she decided to go to fashion school to become a fashion designer, which she only went for a year because she had me, and like it was just a lot to like juggle school and like have to take care of a kid. And my mom was also a single mother. Like, I mean, like my dad is still in the picture, but he's like in Orlando. So she basically was a single mother. So she had to juggle all of that and also go to school, and it just wasn't working out. So she only went for a year, but she really like that first year was like intense. Like she really got into it, and like her like professors were always like, you know, like you should continue, and like she just couldn't because of me. So I'm like, okay, like I'll like follow the legacy or whatever. But I have also always been into fashion too, and my mom also would make my clothes when I was little, and she'd like put me in these like little like dresses with like sunflowers or like with different patterns, and she always made my Halloween costume every year. So that's sort of who my inspiration is too. And then when I started dressing myself, I don't know. I kind of like, I always like stuck to the trends that were going on. So like I had my little like scene phase, which was like not really that intense, but I like had a little something going on there. My mom is a hairstylist, so she would like whatever hairstyle was in, like she would like do it for me. So I did like the scene look. And
okay, so there's a few different scene hairstyles. What was your scene hairstyle?
like the layered one with the long, like, so I had really long hair and like and then when you like tease it up in the back, what is that?
Yeah, okay.
All that.
Did you have like any neon streaks in it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Yeah. But my mom wouldn't let me dye my hair back then. Like she didn't start dyeing my hair till like the end of high school. So she would buy me like the clip-on ones. um and yeah, and then in high school I started like coming up with my own style. I don't know. I wore like a lot of like ripped jeans and like Vans, kind of like how I dress now.
I know
And
you said
like
that, and I was like literally imagining an outfit.
graphic tees and like that's so funny. I'm just realizing this now. I'm like, I kind of dress like how I did in high school, but now it's like more, I don't know. Like in high school, I would just like throw whatever on and like hope it looked good in the morning because like the mornings were what?
Now it's edited.
Yeah, now it's edited. Like this is like now I can like actually think about what I'm gonna wear. Cause like yeah, when you wake up at like 6 in the morning to go to school, like you're like, all right, whatever. But then yeah, my senior year I like stopped dressing. Like I every day was like leggings and like a crew neck and that was it. And like I really did not care at all. Oh, so like, yeah, my mom would be like, why don't you like get dressed up for school and like wear heels? Cause she would see like girls come out of high school wearing heels. And I'm just like in my leggings and my crew neck. And she's like, why don't you do that? I'm like, I'm a senior. Like, I did that all, like,
Graduate.
I'm like about to graduate. Like, I don't have time for this. I literally don't want to be here. um but yeah, then in college, so like ever since I was younger, I wanted to do something that had to do with fashion, like as a career. And I always thought that I was gonna be a fashion designer. But I don't know how to draw. So I would like so my mom was always like, yeah, like you don't have to know how to draw, but like I don't know, it's kind of like hard to come up with an idea that like if you can't even like I don't know, like draw it out. I don't know, like I and like it just it seemed like every fashion designer that I knew how to draw. So my mom also knows how to draw. My mom is also multidisciplinary. So I would also like grow up with her like painting like on her canvas and like I would also try to do it like next to her and like my paintings were never good and like she would tell me that she'd be like, oh that's not very good today, like. But okay, so she actually has one of my paintings that she saved. Actually, she still has it, and it's the only one she saved. Because she thinks it's really good, and it actually is really good. It's like literally of my two cats fighting.
Real life happening in Bash's living room.
So, yeah. So like, I feel like honestly, like my mom just kind of like maybe crushed that dream for me because I didn't know how to draw. So yeah. So then she bought me a camera because she saw me playing with her like little digital camera all the time. And then I decided I wanted to be a photographer. And then I went to Columbia thinking that I wanted to do photography, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with it yet. And this is before Columbia had a fashion photography like concentration. So I thought that I was gonna do like some fine art photography and um then and my like fine art, which is funny. So like my fine art photography is like literally has nothing to do with fashion. It's literally like nude photography. Like that's like what I first started off with, nude photography. And I was really interested in that. But I also like kind of see how that ties into like fashion, because so actually in my fashion photography classes they would tell us like it's a good thing to do a nude photography workshop because you see the way the body moves, and that way you can see the way the body would potentially move in clothes, like when you do photograph clothing. So yeah, I feel like I'm going on a tangent now, but so once they had fashion classes for photography, that was actually fun. That happened like my junior year, so then I immediately like got into the fashion concentration. And then so this is where styling comes in, because we actually, for one of our classes, we had to team up with fashion stylists. Actually, Rye has taken this class too. But photographers teamed up with stylists in a class, and then they collaborated to like create photos together. And then so I saw this like fashion styling class, and I was like, this is basically what I want to do. Like I got into photography because I liked it, but fashion was like always there. Like it was like always in the back of my head. So yeah, I like basically at the end of my college career, I realized that I wanted to style. And so I guess now I have a bachelor's in photography with a fashion concentration, but I'm not doing anything with it really. I mean, I do photos or photo shoots for like my own little projects, but like now I'm like, I guess, I don't know, dabbling in the two of them. I don't know. Yeah.
It's funny that you say you're not doing anything with it, because we literally have
well, okay, that's what I mean. Like
releasing soon.
Projects. Okay, so I guess I didn't say this, but when I graduated college, I thought that I was going to, like, my dream was to like work in a magazine and do like editorial shoots. And I guess that like also like what you said about you like realizing that you're anti-capitalist, like that's kind of like also what happened to me. Like I was just like, I don't like really like to do this. Like it's for the money, but like at what cost? Like literally. I'm not really trying to like, like, and this is like something that we talked about in classes too, photo classes, specifically the fashion photography classes, is like how do you feel when you like edit photos to like, like make someone thinner and like, edit out their wrinkles and their like cellulite and like the acne and like how to like, yeah, like how does that make you feel? Like, do you think it's okay? And we were all like, not really. But everyone was like, yeah, like we're just like, doing it for the money. And I think that, I don't know, I kind of just like that turned me off about it. And like that's like why I hate like editing photos and like editing is the worst part for me. And like, yeah, I thought that I was gonna be a fashion photographer for a magazine, and now I'm like, I think I just want to do like my own thing, like my own projects. I don't really want to do it for the money anymore.
I feel that. I low-key, even when it's like not like a magazine or something, but just like someone who wants me to style them for their birthday shoot and they're like commissioning me, even that I'm like over. But when it's like these big fun concepts that are like
Yes.
for a narrative, that and where we actually get to like experiment and like don't have to be practical, that's fun.
Yeah.
Who wants to be practical?
Right.
Both of us brought up our moms. I think we all kind of in a way brought up our moms when we were talking about our journeys with fashion and thinking about the impact that they had in our journeys. I'm curious to know, like, who are some people, this could again be your mom or other people as well who have like inspired you in terms of fashion.
I think for me, definitely my mom played a role in that. She's just like, even though like with the first church we started going to, like even though she couldn't wear makeup or jewelry or pants, she would still show up and like upstage these bitches. But and people wanted to dress like her and they were always coming to her for advice and she would always tell them where to shop and all that. And then it's just like, I don't know, there's just something about the way she like carried herself whenever she felt good in an outfit that I want to embody. And as far as like also like other fashion style inspo, I think it's very much centered on drag. Like I really want to be able, like part of the reason I love doing drag is just I love wearing fancy, nice dresses and shit like that. Cause it's like when we did this short film and I put on that dress and I'm like, see, this is what I like. I want to wear more of this, but it's not accessible. Or is it appropriate to just wear this gown in the middle of the street? Which I'm like, you can do, but I'm like, if you feel comfortable doing so is another. Right. So definitely like just like drag world, I feel like drag is a reflection of fashion, but I feel like we're getting to a point where fashion is literally becoming informed by drag, especially with like style queens like Shea Coulee and Naomi Smalls, and like those people just like know how to dress themselves, and I'm like want to get there. Right now, I'm like still like working with my limited budget and wardrobe, but it's like I want to like have give me the resources, and I want to dress like that. So definitely drag plays a big role. And I think, I don't know, it's just like, I like to follow a lot of like non-binary queer people because like I feel like sometimes they inform my choices because it's like, for once, like I can wear a blouse out of my house and I don't feel uncomfortable because I've seen so many other people do it. So it's like I definitely look to them for like not just like inspiration, but for the confidence and the courage to do so outside of my apartment. Because right now it's very limited to just like especially now under quarantine, it's just very what I can muster up within my means and like mental capacity to do so. And I think if I were to have like one like fashion icon, like hands down, I think it would have to be Rihanna. Like her style is impeccable. I'm like everything from like the Met Gala to just like anything she wears out after like partying, whatever, is just like for me, it's just like impeccable and like she does no wrong fashion wise.
True.
Zullay, are you ready or do you want me to go next?
Sure, I can go. So obviously, my inspiration is my mom. And actually, I also bash. I also feel like the queer community is my inspiration. I feel like I like to, at least now, take a lot of risks, and I feel like queer people definitely take a lot of risks in fashion. Like, I feel like there's always like something, I don't know, like there's always something that I like take from like the things that people wear, and like LOL, that sounds like I steal, but I feel like I'm yes. I feel like, yeah, I mean I'm
That's not who you
inspired, you
steal it
know.
from.
um and um and I'm also so inspired by queer people because we all like have like our like own different styles. Like there's, I don't know, everyone just like is so cool.
I love the fact that there's
um
not like a singular queer aesthetic.
exactly, like everyone is just different, and um which is like also something that's like frowned upon too, like being queer, like you're also like taking risks, like, you know, walking out into the street like dressed in however you dress, you know. And yeah, it's a fucking risk to like dress however you want when you're queer, and I think that's beautiful. And I'm also inspired by literal babies. Like kids, like I'm inspired by kids. Like I think that's where a lot of like my like risk taking comes too, like, and like just like pattern clashing and like color blocking, and like it's just, and like kids have like when you like let a kid dress themselves, it's so cool to see because like they just put whatever together, and sometimes it looks so cool.
Right, they
Like
be onto
I
something.
yeah, like sometimes I see kids like where I know like that their parent like let them dress themselves that day, and I'm like, that looks cool. Like I definitely am super inspired by kids, like, and babies, like baby is my aesthetic. So yeah, LOL, baby milk.
I was literally gonna say that's like the perfect intro to plug your ear.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, I never talked about baby milk. That's something else I'm doing with fashion. Now I have, or I co-own an earring business called Baby Milk. It's at Shop Baby Milk on Instagram. These are baby milk.
They have clip-ons available.
Yes, we're also inclusive of people that don't have pierced ears. And yeah, and I'm also inspired by Bash. You said you're inspired by drag queens. Yes, absolutely. That's definitely where I get inspiration for baby milk, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like my inspiration definitely is heavily my mom. I still own a lot of the clothes that I stole from her, including clothes that she made. And a big part of that, it's so funny that she like clowned me. My mom is mean and won't admit she's mean. It's funny that she clowned me for that like red, pink, and white outfit I was talking about earlier. Because she wears like some wild and funky stuff, and she like used to like dye denim with like neon dyes and stuff, and like
Ooh.
make jackets out of it. Like she like did a lot of like textile design before going into the like product design mode. So she, like, honestly, like a lot of the more like wild and experimental stuff that I've done has been inspired by like the introduction that her pieces brought into my wardrobe. And then, but I have to give a shout out to my friend Harmony, harmonious.ho on Instagram. And
Yes.
especially when it comes to stylists, like, yo, like I really, really freaking respect Harmony's work. And I definitely recommend going to check it out. And so much of her work has to do with like just pulling from what you have access to. And like, I'm not trying to like glamorize a lack of access, but that's how I started experimenting with clothes in the first place, was just like not having a lot and making what I had work. And I feel like Harmony takes a whole new spin on that. Like Harmony, you could give Harmony some latex gloves, a banana, a lit candle, and a plastic sheet from Staples. And literally she will have a look. So like literally like that's the type of stuff that really does like drive and inspire me when it comes to like creating looks and like fashion as a whole. Earlier, Sebastian, you said something that reminded me of this, but we're also talking about this before we started recording. When we were getting ready, we were talking, Sebastian made a joke, but that's not a joke, about like if I what did you say about like getting ready every day?
I took a picture of this and I posted it, and the caption was like, if I could dress up like this every day, I'd not be depressed. And it was like in a joking manner, but that's because how I talk about my mental illness. But yeah, going into that, it's like we are often like, capitalism drains us of any self-expression through like dress codes and like uniforms having to wear at work, or like professional or business casual. So that really limits the way we can express ourselves. And for me, whenever I do dress up in like whatever manner I want, that includes makeup, that includes like an accessory that you wouldn't wear out probably most, it like makes you feel good. And I think for that, that's part of like self-love that I incorporate into my spirituality. So like for me, when I like every day, I'm either too like drained emotionally, mentally, physically to want to do this. So I just put on like jeans and a t-shirt for work, working remote. So, but like on the weekends when I have time, or if I feel inspired after work, like just going to my makeup table, doing something, finding an outfit and taking a picture of it. And then all of a sudden it's like, I feel my mood has been lifted, and I feel a lot closer to like who the type of person I want to be, and I want to express myself. And I think for me, getting to express that femininity with like makeup and like more feminine clothing definitely is something I lean on whenever I want to get in touch with like my spirituality and divinity. Because I very much feel like my drag is a vessel for that. So whenever I do get to touch that in some way or manner, I definitely feel connected to like the divine in me, if that makes sense.
Yes.
That definitely makes sense. And like what's funny is like on the flip side of that, I agree. Like I feel like if I were to like bring myself to get ready every day and like off a look every day, like because I used to do that like freshman year and sophomore year too, actually. I used to like, so basically for me, like between like 2015 and 2017, that's where I was with myself. Like I used to be like out here in these streets, a little bit of junior year too. And then I had to start working every day. And like we also discussed this, capitalism really just gets in the way of you being able to like present the way you want to. Like sometimes you can't off a look because you got to be at work by 8 a.m. And then it's like, okay, so this is messing with my mental health. And then that becomes a cycle, because then like when my mental health is a wreck, I'm like, do I even want to off a look? Like I don't want to get out of bed. You know what I mean? And it becomes like a whole cycle.
And it goes back to like the safety issue too. It's like, is it worth it to get out in this outfit, even though I'll feel good if I'm gonna go outside? Like this is why having a car, like having proximity and like access to Uber and like ride shares is like to go to the club. Like I don't have to take CTA. No one has to look at me. I don't have to pay attention. Like I want to get to a point where I'm just able to like be myself, express myself, and pay anyone no mind. Like just wear sunglasses and I can't see them, they can't see me, like babies act when then you play peekaboo with them. Like but that shield of like, because a few times I have gone out and like makeup, at first I'm like very like just apprehensive and like very cautious, but then I see like no one's actually paying me any attention. I ain't that special. But then it's like, when anyone starts looking at me, so
like
so much easier to ignore them because it's like I'm already on the train minding my business. I'm feeling myself, and I'm like, I'm that bitch and no one can say otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Want to look like what are, like that's your prerogative.
Yeah,
true.
but also I do just want to acknowledge like that's not paranoia that you're fearing. Like your fear is not like paranoia. Like you're valid for being hesitant, which sucks because you shouldn't have to be. But it's I don't know, it's wild though, because in a way like clothing becomes this thing where you get to like present yourself, but it's also like, how do I use this as an armor to protect myself as well, you know? Like, and like, okay, so like, if anyone doesn't know, all of us present are non-binary, and like, there's like this like joke that's not a joke around like the experience of having to be perceived, and like, so much of it has to do with like, I just want to like look how I want to look, and that in a way that will affirm me, but also will like not bring me in the way of violence, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, how do we even find that like middle happy ground, you know?
There was like a post on Instagram during the pandemic at some point that was like has anyone else noticed that during the pandemic a lot of us, especially queer people and like non-binary people, have been dressing more like themselves than like
or come to the realization that they're actually non-binary because they're able
yes I think it was that
how they want to express themselves, and through that
or have come to terms with the realization of their identity, who they are, and I thought that was so wild because before the pandemic I worked at a restaurant as a host where I had to literally get dressed every day. Like I had to look like I was like going to, so it's funny because the way that before they hired me, the way that they described how to come dressed to work every day was come to work dressed as if you were meeting your partner's parents for the first time. So like, yeah, I had to get
that's high pressure for everything.
I know, I'm like, damn, like, okay, yeah, I guess I have to dress up every single day, and I had to wear makeup every day. Not that I had to, but like the look is not together without makeup. So I had to do that every day, and which like, not to say that I don't like doing that because I love to get ready, but when you have to do it every day, it's just like a lot. And then like, I mean, I will say that it did help with my mental health. I feel like getting ready every day and like, you know, like following through with the routine every day is like, it helps boost your mood. But I felt like I couldn't.
It's a ritual.
Yeah, it's a ritual, exactly.
And you have to do it every single day. It kind of takes away the magic from it.
Right. So
message.
Damn, I lost my train of thought. Okay, but I also felt like I couldn't exactly dress how I wanted to, like, because I had to get dressed every day. It meant that I had to present as like what people see me, because people that walk into a restaurant aren't going to look at me and be like, oh yeah, they're non-binary. Like, so like it was hard for me to like experiment and like take risks getting dressed, like, you know, like more than casual, like, and so I had to, yeah, I felt like I had to like look a certain way, being a host, or else I'd get like questions and shit and stuff. But and it's funny because I started off working there as like with I had long hair, and when I cut my hair, I cut it really short. Like right now it's like longer than what I cut it, but I had it like shaved on the sides, and like the top was still curly. And when I cut it, everyone was like so shocked and surprised, and like they were like, why? And I'm like, why not? So which is funny because like I also like have a pretty visible like mustache, and like I like wonder what they thought like about me, like they never said anything about it. No one ever said anything about it. But when I would, because I usually talk about my mustache, like I'll be like, yeah, like my mustache, and people will be like, oh yeah, like, because they don't want to like, I don't know, make you feel bad if you're not, I don't know why, but I would talk about it and they'd be like, oh yeah, I think it's cute that you have a mustache. And I'm like, really? You think it's cute? Like, so they definitely knew I was queer, so maybe that's why it didn't seem like anything to them. But when I cut my hair, it definitely like everyone was like, whoa, like they didn't see it coming. But yeah, after like the pandemic, or not after, because it's still happening, but but after we found out that we were all going on lockdown in Chicago, is when I mean, in the beginning I was pretty like bummy, and like, you know, I thought it was all fun and games in the beginning. So I was like chilling hard, like in my sweatpants and stuff. And then when it got to like summertime, I'm like, oh wow, like I'm gonna go outside now. And getting dressed was like different. It like I definitely don't dress like, I think right now I'm dressed like how I used to dress like to go to work. Which is so funny to me because as I was getting ready today, I was like, this is like, what am I gonna wear? Because I don't like, because we were all talking about in the group chat, like, so are we getting in a look, or like we have to?
You said that while I was still in a work meeting looking busted and dusty. And then I saw that
Bash said
corner
that.
of my eye. Oh, Bash said it. Well, yes, Bash said it. And then I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm in this work meeting like,
You're like, we're what? I mean, like, if we didn't, like, we'd kind of look like we didn't know what we were talking about, right? Like, it's the same thing as, like, going, like, if you're a hairstylist, you can't go to work and you're, like...
No, I'm not going to lie. I used to stay going on set for styling shoots, looking busted, wearing my work sweatpants, a t-shirt that had, like, a hole in the sleeve. I'm like, listen, but these looks are fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep me out behind the scenes pictures.
Yeah. So yeah, after this pandemic started is when I changed my whole look and like got more into like, I don't know, looking not femme.
Not this. I don't
Huh?
want to be perceived as cis.
What happened?
I'm saying that I don't want to be perceived as cis.
Exactly. Which also, like, something really wild that I noticed after, like, I dressed more and looked more not cis. I stopped getting catcalled, which is like wild because that shit was so constant and so annoying, and like from like from the oldest men, and it was just gross. And like now, like I don't, and it's just great. Oh, like this is great. And also, like, yeah.
Again, fashion as protection after all.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's interesting because I can go in either direction for so many people depending on the situation. And then, like, as gender comes up in clothing and like fashion and presentation and all that, and how that's communicated, how do y'all feel about like when people try to advertise like their fashion collection or their line or a certain object as being like genderless or like a non-binary fashion line?
Oh my God, I'm so over them using the same.
I'm like, huh?
Like, they really think we be dressing up like we work in a warehouse or like work for like some type of like supervillain and just need androgynous black clothes.
Right?
Or like the apocalyptic gray clothes?
Oh my goodness, no.
I mean, there's nothing
I'm
wrong.
like, that is not fashion, honey.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Like, I personally do wear a lot of dark colors and black, but I'm like, I like pops of color, and it's like, so why can't, like, it just annoys me that it's just like there's gendered fashion, which is like self-expressive, and then there's like gender neutral, and it's just like watered down, washed down, basic silhouettes, like you're wearing a boxy tee and that's it.
LOL.
I'm screaming.
Or like when, that's funny because like it's the same thing with like clothes that are advertised as like gay, and like everything is like rainbow colored, like rainbow. Like just like, yeah, like you're gay, you should wear the rainbow flag all the time.
Am I gonna wear the rainbow flag all over my entire body?
I have a friend whose mom literally just buys them like rainbow stuff, rainbow clothing all the time. And it's so funny.
That's actually precious.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, yeah, that's more precious than like, you know.
Then these lines posted.
Yeah.
All great.
But it's funny, like straight people are just funny.
Comical. Oh my God.
They're just funny.
Well, yo, what's wild to me is y'all know I love a good Telfar bag. I love like Telfar as a brand. But what's interesting is one of my friends recently asked me what I thought about it when I told them that I was when I told them that I like finally bought a Telfar bag. They brought up that their friend who is also trans mask like hates the fact that like Telfar bags are marketed as being for everyone, including in terms of gender, because they're like, yeah, I would never wear that. And my thing is like, I hear that. I also
Then don't.
You said what?
Like, but then don't.
And here the thing is, I'm not even mad at them saying that though, because I'm gonna be real. For me, the reality is like we need to stop pretending like any singular piece of clothing will ever affirm every single person or like anything like that, of whether it's every person of a singular gender, every person of all genders. Like that's just not realistic, and that's just not how clothing works. That's not how fashion works. Like my thing is like I can like throw on like this blue wig and a full face of makeup and some bright blush, and I still know that I'm not feminine. Like that's just not who I am, and I'm throwing it on because it's a look and I want to. And it's like I think that, but I'm also not gonna sit here and pretend like this blue wig is like genderless or like non-binary friendly. Like I know the way that this affects my perception and I know that it's not gonna like have the same impact on me that it does on other people. You know what I mean? Like I feel like so much of it is so specific and individual that it's like at any point, any brand that's like claiming to be genderless or anything, they're just trying to make it like appealing to as many consumers as possible. Because in terms of like reality, that's just not possible.
Right. Like, I don't know. To me, like, isn't like every piece of clothing genderless? Like,
Like we're
it's
always
just like,
the same as
yeah, like we don't work like that. We don't just like, yeah, like I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm picking some like clothing out, I don't like look for the genderless item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes I'm
look
specifically like, oh, I want to get this from the women's section specifically. Like,
right, exactly. Like, yeah, like I know like what piece of clothing is gonna be like the best option. So I go to like, yeah, either the men's or the women's. Like,
I always buy my pants from women's now, but I'm like the trade-off. Like I don't get pockets anymore. I'm
oh,
like,
interesting. All my pants are men's pants now.
you get pockets.
I got pockets.
yeah.
That shit.
I have a mix of like a lot of men's and women's pants. And I just recently bought a bunch of women's jeans for the first time in a while. And I was with Bash and their partner. And we were in IKEA and I was like, wait a minute, where are my pockets? I'm like, this is disrespectful.
No. Why do they do that? Why wouldn't women's
They
pants
took
need
away pockets in women's pants to sell purses.
your mind?
No, but for real though, speaking of purses though, I just thought about it. Like even like the suggestion that a purse or a tunic or anything is genderless, that's not taking away from the binary within fashion. Because that's like solidifying that women's clothing is women's clothing and men's clothing is men's clothing. So here you need this to be non-binary. And there's also just Eurocentric understandings of like androgyny half the time too. Like even when it's not a gray tunic, it's still, I almost said something I don't need to be saying out loud. Friendly.
And like, that also like reminds me when like I don't know, for some reason Rihanna's Savage by Fenty line comes to mind, and it's like all these sickening pieces, beautiful lingerie, lacy, like stuff I love, and it's like, oh, we're gonna make men's, and then it's like just fugly ass boxers. I'm like, I want to see men in lace too, bitch.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, and we're hitting the hour mark. So as we wrap up, I want to know like what makes you all feel clothed in righteousness?
Well, for me, I think it's like I mentioned earlier, anything that makes me get in touch with like my femininity and my queerness, I feel like definitely helps me like be more in tune with like my divinity and like spirituality, and just like the ritual of like going from like looking like frumpy and like a sack of potatoes to like looking snatched and like corseted and all that just like does it for me. And it's just like it makes me feel like it gives me that confidence I lack in my everyday boy-sona, and it makes me feel like I am capable and I am like that, bring it, like manifest self-love in that instant moment, which is like very hard to come by, like when I'm not in that type of like garment or makeup or whatever. So I think definitely does make me feel like a layer of protection, a layer of like what is it called, like armor and all that.
Me?
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. What makes you feel clothed in righteousness?
Okay, I guess I'll go. I think Like, honestly, like party clothes make me feel clothed in righteousness. Like, that's like my favorite time to get dressed.
There's like also no better feeling like getting up in a look and arriving to the club and all your friends.
Yes.
Like
I feel like I am like, you know, that bitch. When I get dressed in party clothes, like when I'm going to a party and I get dressed up, yeah, for the club, like, cause that's like the only time where I'm able to go out and like take risks and like no, yeah, and like no one's really gonna say anything. It's kind of like Halloween, where you can like you can literally get dressed in like underwear, or you can get dressed in like a real ugly looking costume and no one can say anything because it's Halloween.
Like, what's good about the club is that people are more willing to take pictures of you. So if it's good, you got that. But if it's bad, it's going to be dark. So people can't even see it anywhere.
Exactly. Right. So like, and you can choose to take a pic and you can choose not to. And if you don't, and if you choose not to, no one will notice that your outfit is bad. Like,
I have an outfit like that in mind that I wore to the club. I don't know why I wore that to the club, but no one knows because I ain't post no pictures.
Right, exactly. And no one can see you in the background or anything, you know? So, yeah, like party clothes, like going out clothes, like not like, you know, going to work clothes, because that's different, because I can't wear whatever I want. I feel, yeah, righteous when I can wear something see-through and like not care about what anyone else is gonna think.
Like, my titties are out, and what?
Yeah.
What about
exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I feel clothed in righteousness when this is so sad because I no longer have hair, so I can't do this. But literally, like bare face, just with a very greased up face. I have dry skin, so I love when I have piles of moisturizer on my face. My blue braids, which I miss so much. But now that I don't have hair, when I have like a fresh cut that's as low as it gets, and in terms of my face, just wearing like black eyeliner and maybe brows, and then like a black turtleneck and black sweatpants, I'm holy.
That is definitely you.
I'm holy. Like, and it's so funny.
That is your look.
Yeah, it's not like a big special look or anything, but that's just like when I feel righteous. And that's when I feel like my most self and so comfortable and like I can go anywhere. I definitely stayed in the club that last winter of college for me. I stayed in the club with a turtleneck and some sweatpants on. That was my move.
Yes.
Stayed in the club with the turtleneck and sweatpants. And if I was still in the club, I would still be wearing a turtleneck and sweatpants. I have a sleeveless turtleneck just for the club in the summertime.
Yeah. Turtlenecks are good. I love a good turtleneck.
I've been trying to find a turtleneck. Can't find them anywhere.
That's all I wear in the winter.
Like the right way.
I'll send you some recommendations because I have to stop buying turtlenecks. So I'll just send them to you instead of buying them myself.
Okay.
I think I just bought more turtlenecks.
Turtlenecks are my favorite. You can layer them with anything. They're great.
I'm not going to lie. I think it was summer 2016 when putting like stuff with spaghetti straps over turtlenecks was like huge. And I was working at American Apparel at the time. RIP an era. I love that.
I still do that. That's my thing.
I feel like I literally, because I don't wear sleeveless stuff like that, but there would be like cute sleeveless stuff that I would see, but I'm just not comfortable wearing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can wear it over a turtleneck. And I still have like strap stuff that I've bought just to wear over turtlenecks when it gets colder out.
Yes.
But that's like, that summer is when it got big. And I was like, absolutely. Or it's like the end of the summer, fall. All right, but yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for sitting in on this conversation with us. Thank you for attending Clothed in Righteousness. please keep up with the rest of our residency with Hot Wheelz Festival. The website for Hot Wheelz Festival is hotwheelzfestival.com. The wheels is plural with a Z instead of an S. And check out our Instagram for more information about the rest of our residency and all the other amazing programming we're doing. Our Instagram is Divine Art Book. And also send us money if you want to see us doing more programming beyond this festival. Our Cash App is Divine Art Book. If you have to pay, no, that's not our Cash App, that's our Venmo. Yikes. Our Venmo is Divine Art Book. Our Cash App is, we don't have a Cash App. So you can send it to my Cash App and mark that it's for Divine. My Cash App is rydouglas, spelled right here, all one word, R-Y, Douglas with one S. And yeah, you can follow me, Ry, on Instagram at Basic Mom Dad. Y'all feel free to share where they can find y'all or tip y'all.
I'm at Diet Concha. Cash App is Sebastian without the S, so you know how we have the money sign. So it says ebashtian.
Yes.
My Venmo is Bash with 2 H's. Let me confirm that. Also, my drag account, my drag is Cindy Nero. You can follow that Instagram at XOXO_Cindy Nero. And it's Bash with 2 H's for my Venmo.
And my Instagram is sensitive_top at sensitive_top. And Cash App and Venmo is bbmilk. Letter B, milk. And follow Baby Milk at Shop Baby Milk.
Honestly, my favorite earrings are from there.
Wow.
Our website is divineartbook.com. If you want to hire us for a panel or something, or just want to collaborate, all our contact information is on there.
I'm also an artist in residence, so yeah.
Yes. So definitely we'd love to see more of y'all. Follow all of us and send us money, honey. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great day.